My partner used to cringe every time she saw me do this. My grandfather, on the other hand, would have disowned me if I stopped. 1 teaspoon of pumpkin seeds before bed. Sounds strange, right? But what happened after 30 days left me speechless. What's up, gentlemen? Welcome back to Prime Health Lab, the channel where we explore real, natural ways to rebuild your strength, sharpen your focus, and feel like yourself again. Today, we're diving into something your grandfather probably knew instinctively, but modern science is only now catching up to. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of men who refuse to settle for low energy and brain fog. All right, let's get into it. So, pumpkin seeds. They don't look like much. Small, flat, slightly green. The kind of thing you'd find in a trail mix and probably ignore. But here's the truth. These little seeds are packed with nutrients that directly target some of the biggest struggles men face today. Low energy, poor sleep, declining testosterone, anxiety, even prostate issues. And the wild part? You only need about a teaspoon. That's roughly 7 to 10 grams. Chewed before bed. Now, let me paint you a picture. You've had a long day. Work drained you. Maybe you hit the gym, maybe you didn't. You scroll through your phone for an hour, your mind still racing. You lie down, but sleep doesn't come easy. Your body feels tired, but your brain won't shut off. Sound familiar? This is where pumpkin seeds start to work their magic. And it's not some mystical nonsense. It's rooted in biology. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that most men are walking around deficient in, and they don't even know it. It's involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. 300. One of its most important roles? Calming your nervous system. Magnesium helps regulate neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers in your brain. When you're low on magnesium, your nervous system stays in fight or flight mode. You feel wired, tense, on edge. Your muscles stay tight. Your mind races. Sleep becomes shallow and restless. But here's where it gets interesting. Magnesium also plays a direct role in the production of melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. Without enough magnesium, your melatonin production drops. You're lying there in the dark, exhausted, but your brain refuses to power down. A single teaspoon of pumpkin seeds delivers around 50 to 60 milligrams of magnesium. That's about 15% of what you need in a day. But when you take it at night, it works synergistically with your body's natural wind-down process. And it's not just magnesium. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with zinc. Now, zinc doesn't get the hype it deserves, but for men, it's absolutely critical. Zinc is directly involved in testosterone production. It supports healthy sperm count. It boosts immune function. It even helps with wound healing and skin health. A lot of guys are unknowingly running on low zinc, especially if they're stressed, working out hard, or not eating enough whole foods. Just 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds, which is about 3 tablespoons, contains more than 20% of your daily zinc needs. Imagine getting a solid chunk of that right before bed, when your body enters recovery mode. Now let's talk about tryptophan. You've probably heard of it in relation to turkey and Thanksgiving naps, right? Well, pumpkin seeds contain tryptophan too. Tryptophan is an amino acid that your body converts into serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter. Serotonin then converts into melatonin. So you're not just getting direct magnesium support for sleep. You're also feeding your body the raw materials it needs to naturally produce the hormones that make you feel calm, relaxed, and ready to rest. It's like giving your brain the ingredients it needs to do its job properly. But here's something most people miss. Chewing the seeds matters. A lot of guys will toss them in a smoothie or swallow them whole. And sure, you'll get some benefit. But when you chew them, you break down the outer shell and release the oils and nutrients inside. You also stimulate digestion and enzyme production in your mouth. This makes the nutrients more bioavailable, meaning your body absorbs them better. Plus, the act of chewing itself is calming. It signals to your nervous system that you're safe, that you're nourishing yourself. There's something almost meditative about it. So that's the foundation. Magnesium for relaxation and sleep. Zinc for testosterone and recovery. Tryptophan for serotonin and melatonin production. All in one tiny, humble seed. All right, so we've covered the sleep and hormone side of things. Now let's talk about something that affects millions of men but rarely gets discussed openly. Prostate health. And before you click away thinking this doesn't apply to you, listen up. Whether you're in your 30s, 40s, or beyond, your prostate is something you want to take care of now, not later. Because once problems start, they're much harder to reverse. The prostate is a small gland, about the size of a walnut, that sits just below your bladder. Its job is to produce fluid that nourishes and transports sperm. Sounds simple enough. But as men age, the prostate tends to enlarge. This condition is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH for short. It's not cancer, but it's uncomfortable. It makes you feel like you constantly need to pee. You wake up multiple times a night. Your stream weakens. It messes with your sleep, your confidence, your quality of life. And here's the kicker. It's incredibly common. By age 60, more than half of men experience some level of prostate enlargement. Now, here's where pumpkin seeds come back into the picture. There's a compound in pumpkin seeds called phytosterols. These are plant-based compounds that have been shown in multiple studies to support prostate health. Phytosterols help reduce the inflammation and hormonal imbalances that contribute to prostate enlargement. They work by blocking the conversion of testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. DHT is a more potent form of testosterone, and while it's important for certain functions, too much of it in the prostate tissue can cause overgrowth and inflammation. In traditional medicine, especially in Europe, pumpkin seed oil has been used for decades to treat urinary and prostate issues. And modern research backs this up. Studies have shown that men who consume pumpkin seeds regularly report fewer urinary symptoms, better flow, and less nighttime disruption. Some studies even suggest that pumpkin seed extract can improve symptoms as effectively as certain medications, without the side effects. Now, I'm not saying you should throw away your doctor's advice, but I am saying that adding a teaspoon of pumpkin seeds to your nightly routine is a smart, proactive move. And let's not forget the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids in pumpkin seeds. These are healthy fats that reduce inflammation throughout your entire body. Chronic inflammation is at the root of so many modern health problems. Heart disease, joint pain, brain fog, metabolic issues. When you reduce inflammation, everything starts to work better. Your joints feel less stiff. Your mind feels clearer. Your energy stabilizes. And for your prostate specifically, reducing inflammation means reducing swelling and irritation. Now, here's something interesting. My grandfather used to tell me that pumpkin seeds were a man's secret weapon. He didn't know the science behind it. He just knew that the older men in his village who ate them regularly seemed to age better. They stayed sharper. They moved easier. They didn't shuffle to the bathroom every hour. And now, looking at the research, it all makes sense. He was unknowingly giving his body magnesium, zinc, phytosterols, and healthy fats every single day. No pills, no prescriptions, just a handful of seeds. But here's where I want to get real with you. A lot of guys ignore these small habits because they don't see immediate results. You're not going to chew pumpkin seeds once and wake up feeling like a new man. This isn't a magic bullet. But over weeks and months, these micro-habits compound. Your sleep gets deeper. Your mood stabilizes. Your energy becomes more consistent. Your body starts functioning the way it's supposed to. And that's when you realize that the small things aren't small at all. They're everything. Let me also address the taste thing, because this is where my wife comes in. Pumpkin seeds have a slightly earthy, nutty flavor. Some people love it. Some people, like my wife, think it's weird. She'd watch me chew them before bed and say, "That's disgusting." But here's the thing. You get used to it. And honestly, once you start associating that taste with better sleep and feeling more balanced, it becomes a positive anchor. Your brain starts to crave it. It becomes part of your wind-down ritual. And if the taste really bothers you, you can lightly toast them with a pinch of sea salt, or mix them with a tiny bit of honey, or toss them in a small bowl with some dark chocolate chips. Make it enjoyable. Make it yours. Another thing worth mentioning: quality matters. You want raw or lightly roasted pumpkin seeds. Organic, if possible. Avoid the ones that are heavily salted or coated in vegetable oils. Those have been processed in a way that strips out some of the nutrients and adds stuff your body doesn't need. Go for the plain, simple, whole seeds. The kind your grandfather would recognize. All right, let's bring this home. Now, I want to shift gears and talk about something that ties all of this together. Think about the last time you had a really bad night of sleep. You woke up groggy. Your thoughts felt scattered. You were irritable. Maybe you snapped at someone you care about. Maybe you couldn't focus at work. This is where pumpkin seeds become more than just a physical health tool. They become a mental health tool. Let's start with magnesium again, because it's that important. Magnesium is often called nature's relaxation mineral, and for good reason. Studies have shown that magnesium supplementation can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. Not in a dramatic, pharmaceutical way, but in a gentle, stabilizing way. It helps your nervous system shift out of fight or flight and into rest and digest mode. It allows your body to relax at a cellular level. And when your body relaxes, your mind follows. You start to think more clearly. You react less impulsively. You regain that sense of control and calm that stress robs from you. Now add zinc back into the equation. Zinc doesn't just support testosterone. It also plays a critical role in brain function. It's involved in neurotransmitter regulation, particularly dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter associated with motivation, reward, and pleasure. When your zinc levels are low, dopamine production suffers. You lose your drive. By getting a consistent dose of zinc from pumpkin seeds, you're giving your brain the building blocks it needs to produce the chemicals that make you feel motivated and engaged with life. And let's not overlook the omega fatty acids again. Your brain is made up of nearly 60% fat. Not the kind you want to burn off at the gym, but structural fat that makes up the membranes of your brain cells. Omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are essential for maintaining the integrity and flexibility of those membranes. They improve communication between neurons. They reduce neuroinflammation, which has been linked to brain fog, mood disorders, and cognitive decline. When your brain is well fed with healthy fats, it functions sharper. You think faster. You remember better. You feel more present. Here's something I noticed personally. After about 3 weeks of chewing pumpkin seeds before bed, my mornings felt different. I wasn't waking up with that heavy, sluggish feeling. My mind felt clearer right from the start. I didn't need 2 cups of coffee just to feel human. I had more patience with my kids. I was more focused at work. And in the evenings, I wasn't collapsing on the couch, mentally fried. I still had energy. I still had presence. And when bedtime came, I fell asleep easier and stayed asleep longer. It wasn't a dramatic transformation. It was subtle. But those subtle shifts are the ones that change your life. Chew a teaspoon of pumpkin seeds before bed. It's simple. It's cheap. It's accessible. You don't need a prescription. You don't need to join a gym or hire a coach. You just need to be consistent. One last thing. My grandfather didn't live in a time of biohacking, supplements, and optimization culture. He lived in a time where food was medicine and habits were sacred. He didn't need studies to tell him what worked. He just paid attention. He noticed how he felt. He noticed what made him stronger and what made him weaker. And he passed those lessons down. Not through lectures, but through example. By the time I was old enough to understand, he was in his 80s and still sharp, still strong, still present. And now I understand why. It wasn't luck. It was wisdom. It was consistency. It was respect for the fundamentals. So here's my challenge to you. Don't overthink this. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Tonight, before bed, grab a teaspoon of pumpkin seeds. Chew them slowly. Pay attention to how you feel tomorrow morning. Do it again the next night. And the next. Give it 30 days. Track your sleep. Track your mood. Track your energy. And then decide for yourself. Because at the end of the day, no study, no expert, no video can replace your own direct experience. Trust your body. It's smarter than you think. All right, gentlemen, that's it for today. 1 teaspoon of pumpkin seeds before bed. If this resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And drop a comment below. Tell me, are you going to try this? Have you already been doing something similar? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you guys. And if you know another man who could benefit from this, share this video with him. Let's build a community of men who refuse to settle for mediocre health and low energy. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and take care of yourself. This is Prime Health Lab, and I'll see you in the next one.
Prime Health Lab is dedicated to men's internal health. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.